Hi there, greetings everybody. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, and I will be talking today about the mini series that we've been running. This will be the second episode entitled They Got It Started. So, this will be episode 2. For those of you who didn't see the first episode, you can go back and watch it. But basically, we're going to be talking about those. I picked 7 artists, 7. So, we're going to talk about the 7 artists that I think had an influence on rock music at that time and who may have been influential to certain bands going forward. They may have inadvertently or directly started mini genres that also went forward. In the case of last week's episode, if you want to see, there was a couple of I think at least one subgenre that kind of went forward due to that artist. So today's artist is going to be Fats Domino. Yes, the Fat Man himself. The Fat Man Sings. There you go. This is one of his albums. I'd like to get them all, to be honest. I really quite like his style. He's not too bluesy. He has a blues element to music, obviously, and some soul to it, and a little bit of rhythm and blues to it as well. But I find he's got such a smooth sounding voice. His songs are catchy. He's and he has a lot of songs that are fairly well known. Easy to sing along with kind of guy. Seems to be very easygoing. Just lots of things about him that are very likable as a person. And so that's the artist we're going to be doing today, Fats Domino. So I'm going to give you a fairly lengthy set of stats here and then talk about the artist. So, but first I got to find that part of the book that I have my notes on because I forgot to open it when I started the video. Well, here it is. It wasn't that far anyways. So this will be the second artist we're doing. So the first artist was on the first episode. If you want to watch that, you can. We're going to do 4 or 5 more episodes after this, but this one is good. So this is he had like 6 studio albums. This is one of them. 20 tracks in total on here. Many of them fairly well-known tracks. But I'll give you the stats on him first. So he was born Antoine Callist Domino Jr. and took on the title of Fats Domino. Nowadays, we wouldn't be able to use that name, but back then it wasn't uncommon. So he's basically a vocalist, a pianist, and a writer. So he wrote a lot of his own stuff as well. Born on February the 26th, 1928. So he would have been approaching 98 years old now. Died October the 24th, 2017 at the age of 89. So we only lost him fairly recently. In about 9 years ago, so not too long ago. He was born in Harvest, Louisiana. He's an American, obviously, and a very influential one. Some of the artists that we are doing in this series were influenced by him, and they were his contemporaries. So he started the genre. I don't know if he started it, but he was in the rock and roll genre, R&B genre, boogie woogie, and blues. So he was kind of transcendent in all of those areas of rock, of music. But primarily, I think of him as a rock and roll artist, although I think he thinks of himself as a rhythm and blues artist, and that rock and roll and rhythm and blues were pretty much the same thing to him. He had top 40 hits. He had a total of 37 of them. So a lot of songs were fairly well known, at least in that period by him. Maybe some haven't carried forward, but a lot have also done that as well. Sold over 65 million albums and 110 million records. So I'm assuming they are including his singles. In his time period, singles were the big item. albums didn't come until mid-60s, but basically what they would do is they would get a collection of his hits and put them on albums like this one. He's got about 6 albums like this. He started his career in 1942, basically singing in New Orleans bar bands or bars since he was about 14. But he didn't really have any major success until he signed with the Imperial record label back in 1949. By that time, he'd already been singing about 7 or 8 years in the bands, in the bars and stuff. His first single is on this album. It's also the first song on the album. It's called Ain't That a Shame. Fairly well-known track. A number of bands have covered that track, including Cheap Trick, which I have that song as well. This song sold close to 1 million, but back then that was pretty much unheard of. But song did very well. That was his first hit. He was also one of the first rock and roll artists inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 1969. Many artists, like I said, have covered his songs, including the Beatles, Elvis, Cheap Trick, and even reggae artist Yellow Man. And he won the National Medal of Arts and was presented to him by Bill Clinton back in 1998. And then after the hurricane in Louisiana, in which his house was destroyed and a lot of his stuff was lost, and he actually disappeared for a while. Many thought he was dead. They found him; he was alive. I think it was George W. Bush that gave him. They gave him another medal, arts medal, because his was lost in that disaster. Anyways, that's pretty much all I want really to talk about of his history, is give you a little brief overview of the type of person we're talking about here and his influence on rock. Like I said, going forward, definitely was one of those R&B artists that influenced a lot of bands going forward. The Beatles, the Stones, other artists, Cheap Trick, more contemporary artists than even that, who idolized his music and often covered his songs and wrote about music similar to his as well. And I didn't get myself enough water when I started this. Anyways, there are a number of tracks on this that I'm going to just talk about a little bit. Songs that I kind of got into him a bit when I was a kid, before I really got into rock music. My parents were big fans of, well, at least my mother was fairly big fans of that 1950s music. And this was one of those artists that she listened to. So songs like Ain't That a Shame, Blueberry Hill, I Hear You Knockin', Walking to New Orleans. These are all songs that I knew growing up. Your Cheatin' Heart. It's Nothing New, Same Old Thing. My Blue Heaven. Yeah, just some really good stuff. He's such a smooth singer too. Like, just really easily understandable vocals, but smooth, catchy, mild type of guy. I love the sound of his voice, to be honest with you. I think he's one of the best guys from that time period for a voice. And a lot of his songs, while not particularly heavy when it comes to rock music, definitely had a lot of that early rock flavor to it. So that's my choice for an artist for today, who got it started. A man in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a guy well respected by his peers and many people following his stuff going forward. I'm going to lose my throat here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video on Fats Domino. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to leave any comments about Fats Domino in the comment section, you can, or about any of his music, or you maybe want to talk about another artist that you think was just as influential back then, you can do that as well. So anyways, we will see you next Thursday when we will be doing another artist from that time period. The next artist up will be Bill Haley and the Comets. We'll be doing them next Thursday for noon, and I hope to see you all then. Take care and have yourself a good one. Goodbye here from the Prog Monster.